You're very welcome back to the show, and as we all know, it's that time of year again where we're more likely to get flus, colds and coughs. Actually, what more Duran has.
Do you know what? It's just too early in the year, but you know, hopefully, I'm here as a patient today.
So I can use you as a case study now for this.
I am the case study. Paula Reilly is going to save my life and everybody else out there who is ailing like me.
You better stretch her out here now, Paula. More, just lie back there now.
Boots, help me. Boots, help me. No, Paula, it is the time of the year. I know I find it's early to have any kind of colds and all that, but you know, winter is kind of, the winter bugs have arrived, which is a pain.
Oh, absolutely have arrived. We're seeing loads of people coming in with all the similar symptoms that you just described there now. So loads of people that just are all bunged up, and the common cold, like I talked about the last day I was here.
Yeah, and you know, in the break I was just saying there to Paula, I've got this kind of ongoing for a week, nasally, blah, but I don't have a temperature. Well, I don't think I have a temperature. But a virus can last. How long can a virus last?
Yeah, it really depends from person to person. But I mean, you can have symptoms up to 3 weeks with the viral infection, and like there may be no bacterial infection, so antibiotics aren't necessarily needed. It just has to run its course.
No, people will be expecting to get it, I suppose. I kind of get it once a year, and that's it. But there are things we can do, Paula, really, to kind of keep all that at bay.
Yeah, exactly. Like the supplements that you can take, and we'll talk through them now, that can help, I suppose, reduce the likelihood of getting the common cold, but also reduce the severity and the duration that you have it for.
Okay. So where do we start then with vitamins?
Yeah, so I suppose the one we're all most familiar with is probably vitamin C. Vitamin C, zinc, echinacea, they would be your typical immune, I suppose, protecting vitamins that people typically take, I suppose, at this time of year. And they, as I mentioned, they may help reduce you getting the symptoms of, or reduce you getting the actual common cold, but also reduce the severity of the symptoms and the duration also.
Taking vitamins, I mean, vitamin C, and a lot, probably more than other vitamin studies have been done on the kind of vitamin C reducing the cold time by a couple of days.
Yeah,
is that right?
Exactly, it can. Like that's probably the most, from studies actually, it's shown that actually it's most likely to reduce the duration that you have the symptoms for.
How much do you need to take, or how much should you take?
Well, my recommendation would be start taking it now, so not when you actually get the cold or when you get the symptoms. You know, you want to start protecting yourself from early on as such.
Okay, so something like this, I was just looking at this one here, and it's basically like a immune, so you've got vitamin D, C, E and zinc. And are they the kind of immune boosters, the main immune boosters?
They would. There's antioxidants even in that particular product, and they will just help build up your immune system, help protect it, and fight off those bugs and infections.
So if it's a good thing to take them before you get it. What if you're like more, if you have it, should you dose yourself with these things?
Oh no, I would dose yourself within reason, within the recommended doses on them. Absolutely, I would still recommend that you do take them now.
So you take all the maximum whatever you're supposed to take, and that'll help along.
Whatever the pharmacist recommends for you, absolutely, you can take them now, as well as if you're taking maybe some treatments over the counter as well.
Yeah, I started taking vitamin D last year, and a high enough dose, if you like.
Like 1,000 or something.
1,000, I think it was up to 4,000 at one stage.
That's a lot.
But I wasn't getting any sun, because we're inside all day. You leave the house in the morning and it's dark, and you leave the studio in the evening and it's dark, so you're not really getting any sunlight.
Yeah, and we know that vitamin D is the one vitamin, the sunshine vitamin you may call it, that it actually is developed from sunlight, you know, on your skin. And I suppose we've seen even in Ireland in the last number of years that actually there has been an increase in rickets, which is as a result of a deficiency in vitamin D.
Because we all wear sunblock, that's why.
We all are so protective of our skin, which is absolutely the right thing to do. But also we don't have the sunlight in Ireland. And as you mentioned, it's dark when you finish work in the evening.
But now they're finding that vitamin D is very, very good as well to protect you against colds, isn't that right?
Yeah, it is. So I mean, typically we know vitamin D, I suppose, for helping absorbing calcium, helping with your bone health. But it has actually been also shown that actually it may be effective in you know, helping build with their immune system as well. So it would be one that I would be definitely thinking of now in the winter months.
So 1,000 milligrams, is that the kind of recommended dose?
So 1,000 units. It's
1,000 units, I should say.
10 microgram would be the dose that you would take, standard dose that you would take in for an adult in Ireland.
You probably should speak to your pharmacist about that, I suppose, Paula. If you are getting out maybe for an hour or two during the day, you might need as much vitamin D. Is that the way it works?
Yeah, and I mean, you can get minimal amounts from your diet, but it is very small. Like it's from like oily fish and stuff, but it's very small amounts. Really, you should be getting out into the sunlight. But as you said, there's limited sunlight now over the next few months.
None at all.
Yeah, so I mean, I would recommend definitely a vitamin D supplement.
And echinacea then is a herb, and that as well helps to kind of boost your immune system.
Yeah, so that's well known for,
Yeah.
for you know, reducing severity and symptoms of colds and flu.
What if you're pregnant? Can you still take the same amount of vitamins, or do they differ?
So I suppose pregnant ladies are another category that actually may require supplementation. One in particular that we're all familiar with is folic acid. So that's obviously recommended pre-conception and
Yeah.
at least up to the first 12 weeks during pregnancy. So there are certain supplements that you can get, as seen there, that will have all of the necessary vitamins and minerals that are recommended for you when you are pregnant.
You have to be careful though, don't you, that you don't overtake vitamin A when you're pregnant.
Yeah, vitamin A would be the key one. It's a fat-soluble vitamin. It can build up in your system if you take too much of it, and particularly when you're pregnant, you have to be very careful with vitamin A, and equally foods that contain vitamin A. We all know about liver, patties, all that kind of thing would have high amounts of vitamin A.
Right, okay, so that's just be careful with the vitamin A, but a multi-vitamin geared towards pregnancy is the best one to take.
Exactly, and when you're pregnant, I wouldn't be taking multiple products unless it's been recommended for you by a pharmacist. So just be careful that you're not taking too much.
Celine has a question for you, Paula. What vitamins are good for a toddler at preschool?
Yes, I suppose toddlers some can be great eaters, some can be very fussy eaters, and actually they mightn't be eating that well. So it'll obviously depend on the toddler and what their diet is like. Obviously, if they're eating a well-balanced, they're eating a bit of everything, then they may not need supplementation. But if they are maybe poor eaters, they're not eating that much, then there are great multivitamins that are targeted for that age group. And they'll contain your B vitamins, vitamin C, it may have a small amount of iron in them. Your pharmacist will be able to recommend which one is most suitable for your toddler.
Yeah, because you kind of need to protect them in some sense, because if one child gets a cold inside
they're
the
all gonna get
preschool,
it,
they all get it, and then the parents get it as well then a lot of the time.
Yes.
I know.
But Paula, vitamin D, and we see the kind of baby vitamin D, we've all probably given our kids the recommended amount of vitamin D when they were smaller, but do you believe that it's a good idea to continue with vitamin D as kids get older, like 3 and 4, that kind of age?
Yeah, so the most important age is definitely from birth to 12 months, and they are the recent guidelines and national guidelines that babies should be taking from 0 to 12 months. They should be taking a vitamin D supplement.
Yes.
I believe there's absolutely no harm in taking it continuing on from that, for the same reasons, in that they're not going to be you're going to be very protective of your child in the sun. They're probably going to get minimal sun exposure. So absolutely there's no harm in continuing that, but absolutely most important from birth to 12 months.
It's important to remember as well, Paul, I suppose these are supplements, and they're not to take the place of food at all.
Absolutely, a well-balanced diet is absolutely key and priority, and if you can get that, then that's the most important thing. And then make sure that they don't interact with any medications or anything, and they're suitable for you.
And that's actually important as well if you're on blood thinners, and you must check if you're taking a lot of fish oils, that type of thing as well, isn't it?
There's
or evening primrose oil.
There's some ones that we may be more familiar with, but I would always say check if you're on any prescribed medications, do check with your pharmacist first to make sure they are suitable.
Paula, thank you. I'm going to take the echinacea and
Actually,
this.
actually, give her the baby stuff as well there.
I'll just take everything. No, I won't. I won't be irresponsible. Paula, thanks as always.
Thank you.
More information on the winter vitamins that we talked about there, we'll put it on our Facebook page, but also you can pop over to boots.ie, and we'll see Paula back in a couple of weeks. All right, Paula.
Thank you.